20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city. I got you. Rep your city. I'm gonna tell you about mine. Rep your city.
It's time for us to go live, so rep your city. I really would appreciate if y'all roll with me. Feeling this music cause it makes me wanna step. And if you don't want to, then you lying to yourself. Cause every time we party, we gon' have fun. I don't know about you, but I'ma rep where I'm from.
Rep your city. Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city.
Yo, 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 what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the new season of the RYC Live Show. Rep your city right here, fresh on Fresh Fridays. Thank you all once again for always being supportive and showing us love. And tonight we're back again live here on the set. And we got a special guest backstage. I'm going to bring him out. But before I do, I like to just say what a blessing. It's great to be back. We're glad everyone who have made it to the new year will be able to sit back and enjoy this segment, this new first segment of the new episodes, the new seasons of the RYC Live Show. That's Rep Your City in your city. Yeah, thank you. It's a blessing to be back. And what a time to be alive, despite the conditions that we're under. So with that being said, without further ado, we got a man, and this is a man. He's a musician, a singer, a big influential person, entrepreneur that has been in the music game since the 70s, the 60s, and well up until today. You know, he's still currently working on music. Very productive, very active right here in Chicago, from the south side of Chicago. This is a man that has had music and parts of his creativity sampled and used for many, many, many years by many other artists. Okay. Who y'all think I'm talking about tonight? None other than the man himself, Captain Sky.
Yo, in the hizzy. What's up, bro?
How's it going? How's it going?
Man, going well.
That's
and
what's
yourself?
up. Oh man, I couldn't be better. You know, I'm just thankful and grateful that we have made it to the new year, you know, and we got some goodies that's going to be unleashed. So I'm looking forward to it all.
Yeah, me too, my brother. Me too. You know, it's like, instead of Happy New Year, Happy New You.
Right.
We got to continue to reinvent ourselves, man, and to improve always.
Right. So that's good, man. Hey, it's just an honor and a pleasure, first off, to have you on the show. And I just want to thank you in advance for taking the time out to be with us tonight, to share and talk about your history and, let other people see what you've been doing over the years.
It's my pleasure, man. And it's an honor for me to be here, man. So thank you.
Yes. So let's just go back to the beginning, man. This is Fresh Fridays, and on our show, Rep Your City or RYC Live, we like to basically go all the way back to the beginning, because without the beginning, we have no future. And, we wouldn't be here, actually.
That's right. That's right, brother. That's right.
So let's start off with you. I know you started in the 70s. And so let's go back let's even get a little introduction as to what you were doing before you even came on into the industry scene. What helped you get to that point of even coming out to the public in the music industry? What were you doing?
Man, let me tell you something, man. And I'm glad you asked that question, man, because it's one word, man: preparation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't jump into it. I prepared myself.
Mm-hmm.
I studied the industry. I became a student of the industry. And, there was back in the day, man, there was and no disrespect to the Bible itself, but there was a record industry Bible. And it was
Mm-hmm.
called This Business of Music, right? So I read that thing. I paid attention to the thing. I learned about publishing. I learned about production. I learned about all the things. And then I took a step. A lot of times, it's very, very important, man. Before, preparation, man, is the key. So that's what I
Okay.
was doing prior to the first record and the first release. I spent so the first record, The Adventures of Captain Sky, that album, which was financed by my loving parents, man, and I did that project. I prepared myself. Now that was 1978 when that
Okay.
album was released. So starting back, I would say like I knew that I was getting ready to make a step into the industry and release music probably
Mm-hmm.
in 76.
Okay.
So there was like
Okay.
2 years preparation, man. In other words, not like, what am I going to do? Okay, so I saw it and then I became it because I prepared. I did the homework. I did the studying. I became a student of the industry. So from 76 to 78, that's what I was doing.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. All right. So let's tell the people where you from in Chicago on the South Side. Where did you start off originally?
Well, man, originally, man, I was, of course, the first address that I ever had was 353 West 92nd Street, which is in Princeton Park. Princeton
Mm-hmm.
Park Homes, man, which is just north of 95th Street, borders from Harvard to Lafayette, from 95th to 91st. That whole area is called
Mm-hmm.
Princeton Park. So that was my
Okay.
first residence upon coming home from the hospital, you know. And of course, I remained on the south side because I moved from there and over on 99th and Green Street. Now, it was when I
Okay.
moved on 99th and Green Street that I had, already. So I was 11 years old at that time. So I started playing guitar probably at 12. My dad bought me a silver tone guitar from Sears, which was really cool back then because it was like you get the guitar and the amp. The amp was built inside of the case. So it was
Okay.
really cool. So you can open up, like you stand the guitar case up on its end and get the guitar and you plug it up inside. I mean, you can't go and do a gig with that, but you can sit there and you can figure out what you need to do and get to know your instrument. And that's what I did. So so that was around 12 years old. So I started the first band, professional band that I was in, where we actually did a gig and got paid for it. I was
Mm-hmm.
probably 14 years old.
Okay.
So I started,
Wow.
and then I proceeded, of course, as I grew older, and I went to high school, and then we put together a band in high school. This is really what did it for me. I was like a senior in high school, and there was this awesome band that we put together called Stage, right? We just called Stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was multi-ethnic, man. It was so cool because I went to Luther South, man. Luther South was a multi-ethnic school. So I had an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, man, to engage and to interact with various cultures, man, at an early age, right? So we had, man, brothers, sisters in the band, of course, Europeans, and yeah, and the band was really, we put it together, man, in a short period of time, and it was incredible. So the school let us do a thing in the auditorium, man, where we actually, the whole school was inside the auditorium, and it was like we took the roof off the place, man, and like actually
Okay.
it was the point where everybody was like, wow. I mean, it was like, so that's when I started, people were asking for autographs, man. And it was like, so I said, that's when
Wow.
I knew. That's when I absolutely knew. and that was in 75. I absolutely knew. So when I graduated,
Wow.
I think the preparation actually started right there, artistic. It
Okay.
kind of started
Okay.
right after I graduated in 75. That whole year coming up to 76, I absolutely knew what I was going to launch, what I was getting ready to do. And I prepared
Mhm.
myself. And then of course 1978, the spring of 78, The Adventures of Captain Sky, Wonder Worm was the first single. Eddie Thomas, God rest his soul, my first manager, who also Eddie was Curtis Mayfield's first manager, and I had Jerry Butler and all of them, and the Independents, and so Eddie made the deal,
Mm.
and the record, of course, Eddie being the awesome promoter that he was, man, I had airplay all the way across the country. So we
Mm.
got a call from Don Cornelius to do Soul Train, and that's how the beginning. That's what happened. Of course, there was many bands and stuff that I put together, prior to that, but that was the launching of Captain Scott.
Wow. 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 Now, were you in any kind of group before you came out with your first album? Because I know
That's
that you
what I'm
said.
saying. Several groups. I mean, I
Mhm.
started bands, man. I started bands, and we were kind of like on the local scene. We were definitely out. It's everybody. Instead of saying we were number one, man, we were the best in it. I'm gonna say this: we were consistently in the top three unreleased amateur bands in the city.
Mhm.
You know, we were consistently in the top three. I'm
Okay.
not gonna even say whether we were one, two, or three, but if I'm in the top three, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay. It's just like, man, in a concert, man. Dude, I don't mind opening up the concert. I'm
Mhm.
not stuck on some ego thing that tells me I got to close the show. Because guess what?
Right.
Here's where I look at it. Put me first, Jack, because you're going to
Right.
work. If you come after me, I'm going to make you work.
Right.
I'm going to make you
Right.
work because I'm going to leave some fire up on the stage. I don't know what you're going to do. But so it's like, making it to quote unquote number one. Hey, man, just put me in the top three, man. Good. It's like because 100% is perfection.
Mhm.
So you know what I shoot for, man? I don't shoot for 100%. As long as I land in the 90s somewhere, I'm good.
Mm.
I'm
That's
good in
what's
the
up.
90s, man.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's
Yes,
up.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know that you were, as a musical artist and a
Mhm.
singer, you were involved in the funk era and in the soul era back in the '70s. And
Yes,
there's
sir.
there's there's a close relationship with those genres of music and the upcoming music that was beginning to arise, which became known as rap or hip
Yes,
hop.
sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
did you have any idea that was going to become what it has became back
You
then?
know what, man? I'm gonna tell you something, man. I think everybody thought it was just a trend.
Mhm, mhm,
It's kind of, well, yeah, it's a trend, it's hot, but I don't think maybe the visionaries of, maybe the Russell Simmons and all of those cats, man, who really they had to believe in it to a point where so maybe they just knew what they were going to do, but I think a lot of people kind of just said, well, it's cool, and kind of wondered. But guess what, man? It never. Not only did it never die, man, but it flourished.
mhm, mhm.
I'm talking about,
Yeah,
tremendously to a whole nother level. Yeah,
right.
some of it is really good and some of it is not so good, but that's just an opinion, and everybody has what they gravitate to, what they like. But I've always respected that as a genre. And you know what?
Mm,
It's not really a genre, it's a culture.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
That's what I believe. The whole hip hop thing is a culture, just like the funk thing is a culture, you know.
mhm. Yes, yes.
And it was really amazing how that thing happened, man. Yeah, and you alluded to that the funk me, initially the funk thing it was like so Wonder Worm and Super Sperm. It was really interesting, man, when Super Sperm uh, um, was released. Actually, man, and I was told back in the day that the jock that was responsible, man, for really there was two people in New York, man, and God rest his soul, Mr. Magic.
Mhm,
Mr. Magic, man, was just an awesome brother, man, good friend of mine, and WHBI, the Rap Attack. He had a great station. So he actually, man, heard that record, man, and ran with it. And then Grandmaster Flash actually was the first disc jockey, DJ. He played it in Central Park. He still was the first guy to start playing that song for a mass of people, Grandmaster Flash. And that was it. The rest, that's it between those two guys. And there was a lot of other people that were influential. I don't want to leave nobody out, but those are the two that come to mind that I know for a fact started that fire that ended up being Super Sperm.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
And as a result, that track, man, was a track that, like guys like, Dougie Fresh and all of those cats and a lot of cats, man, that was, I went to New York. I found out the popularity of that song by mistake, man, because I went up there and I did a gig with Anita Ward, Ring My Bell. And I did a show and I actually did not include Super Sperm in the set. So I finished the last song. I forgot what the last song was, what I ended the show with, but I went off in the crowd. It was a great show. They were like, Super Sperm, Super. I mean, I was off stage. So I said, well, guys, we gotta play it. So we came back and played the song and the rest is history.
Wow.
And it was so cool, man. I think too, man, when the Sugar Hill Gang, man, and when they included that in the lyrics in that song, Rapper's Delight. So I put it together. I said, wait a minute now. If my name and my song is mentioned in the very first rap hit, then maybe I had something to do with the building of that culture. So I'm very honored of that. Because if it's in the first record, it had to be a part of the bricks that built the building. You know what I'm saying? So
that's no doubt. That's no doubt. That's no doubt. And
I'm grateful about that, man.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people to hear this because again, some people probably, at the time when I heard it, I didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know that they were using parts of your material.
Yeah, I think who was it? It was Master G. It was Master G, and I think it was it wasn't Hank. What was the other guy? Master G,
Wonder Mike,
Wonder Mike.
So
Wonder Mike, and Master G were the ones that talked about, so like when he talked about, he can satisfy you with his little worm, but I can bust you out with my super sperm. That was Wonder Mike in his verse. And then, and then Master G was like, like Johnny Carson in the Late Show, just like my man, a Captain Sky, his name he earned with the super. That was such an honor, man. I mean, really. So that's when I really knew, wow, I must have made a difference here. I must have done something that was relevant. So that's when I knew. That's what confirmed that for me.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that the fact that you mentioned two iconic individuals that's part of the hip hop culture, which was DJ Mr. Magic, because he was breaking all the hip hop records back then. And then of course Grandmaster Flash.
Man.
For them two type of individuals to get, parts of, get a hold of your material and share it and play it out there in New York. That was a definitely blessing.
It really was, man. It really was, man. And there was a club in New York called that Flash used to spin at, man, called the Fever, man.
Yeah, Disco Fever.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Flash was spinning up in there on a regular basis. So it was real cool, man. It was real cool. That club was real cool, man, because now probably wasn't the safest place to go to. I'm gonna tell you why. Not because of any violence. Not because of any violence. But like when you go into it was like a warehouse kind of thing, man. It was like in almost like an industrial warehouse setting building, right? So you had to go up to the floor where the party was, man, in freight elevators.
Okay.
God forbid something happened where people had to get the heck out of there, bro. Because that's how you had to get down.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
Freight elevator.
Wow.
It was cool though. It was real cool. I'll never forget that, man. We went upstairs in the freight elevator, man.
Wow.
And dude,
Wow.
when I saw, it was so, man, again, man, this is not, I'm not blowing no trumpet and patting myself, but look, when I saw the crowd response of Super Sperm on the dance floor at that club, oh my God.
So you actually performed that at the Disco Fever?
No, I was at Disco Fever when they played when they played the record there.
Oh, gotcha.
And I saw the reaction of the floor and the house.
Gotcha.
They loved it.
Gotcha.
And I said,
Gotcha.
wow. I said, wow. And Super Sperm was kind of like a filler song for me. It was like the last song that I finished for the album.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
I wrote the lyrics on the way to LA on the plane, and then I recorded the lyrics in LA at a producer's workshop. And it was kind of like, it was cool, but I never knew. I never really knew that was going to break out the way it did in the underground.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
it sounds real good to say that was a plan. Oh, I planned that, but no, fate was on my side.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fate
well,
was
let's
on
do
my
this.
side.
Let's do this. We're gonna go to a commercial.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we're going to get back into picking up where we left off. So
Yes, sir.
let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, man, this is really exciting, man. I'm looking forward to hearing some more of the information that you got to share with us.
Okay, brother. Glad to be
All
here.
right, so we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Fight once more, my style. Fight me. We came here to battle.
Bruce Lee in the mix, right here, RYC Live. Tell me, I did not just beat him.
You're pretty good.
Welcome back to the RYC Live Show. And tonight we have our special guest, Mr. Captain Sky.
Hey, you know what, Artistic? I was thinking too, man, on the break there, man. That might have been Big Bank Hank that said he can satisfy, because I can hear his voice. That was Hank, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he's the one that's deceased.
Yes, he can
Big
satisfy
Bank
you
Hank.
with his little worm, but I can. Yeah, that was. I can hear his voice.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah, I don't want to leave him
Okay.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the one that is deceased. I was wondering about that too. So that was actually him
Yeah.
that said the verses about you.
Yeah, and Master G.
Okay.
Him and Master G. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I
so
think
there definitely was
I think Master G and Wonder Mike, they still doing something. I don't know how much, but they're still around.
yeah.
But yeah, Big Bank
Yes.
Hank is the one that passed away. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play the audio to your first the super sperm, man, the one that really broke the mold, right? We're gonna let the
Yeah, that
listeners
was
hear
the
now.
underground. Now Super Sperm broke it on the underground. Wonder Worm was the
Right.
one that did on Soul Train with Don Cornelius.
Gotcha.
Yes,
But I mean, I'm saying the super sperm was the one that was sampled, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and share that with the people, and then we can talk
Okay.
about it afterwards.
Yes, sir.
That was excellent. That was excellent. Yep. So, wow. So let me ask you this, man. I mean, this, that was back. I know this back in those times. A lot of songs that were uh being pressed, especially in the 70s,
Yeah,
were a lot longer than songs today. Um,
yeah.
why was that?
Well, you know what, man? It was kind of like a song. Well, a song like that was pretty much meant to be like, something that people can actually experience, man, and really get into different nuances of the song.
Okay.
And sometimes, it was kind of like it's an extended party groove, and
Hmm.
they were very popular. And back in the day. And they
Hmm.
got now certain stations will not play those a song at a certain, if it's a certain length, they won't play it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But uh yeah, I don't think it was a particular I think if the groove is grooving, keep it going. That's what
Hmm.
that was.
I've
You know,
also
uh,
heard I've also heard too that a lot of songs were singles, obviously, and so they just the way records were made, it was more singles in the beginning than there were full length albums.
yes. Yeah. There used to be a time, like in other words, back in the day, man, if you were over 340,
Hmm.
they wouldn't even program your song.
Okay.
That's why if you listen to a lot of those old Motown hits by the Temptations and a lot of those songs that came out of Motown and Philly International and like all the Delphonic stuff and all that stuff out of Philadelphia, the Philly sound,
Hmm.
all of those songs, all of those singles, if you go back and look at them, man, they're 3 minutes or something. No, never longer than that.
Okay.
And that
Yeah.
was because of programming restraints.
Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't have a song that was too long. You would not get it added if it was too long.
Gotcha. And that makes sense. That makes
Especially on
sense.
AM, especially on AM radio back in the day.
Okay. Okay.
Because those AM radio was really broke a lot of records back in the day. Like in our town, man, there was WVON and there was WJPC.
Hmm.
Those songs broke a lot. Those stations broke a lot of songs, man.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
broke a lot of songs. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, yeah. I had a relationship with Tom Joyner, man, back in the day, man, and all of those people. Tom was the program director of JPC,
Hmm.
and Rodney Jones was the program director over there at WVON.
Okay.
And God rest his soul. Rodney Jones was a phenomenal programmer, man. He broke a lot of records, and they broke a lot of records over at Johnson JPC too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that definitely was, I'm sure, like you said, it went on to reach a lot of other musically talented artists, especially within the hip hop arena, and
yes,
where that led people, going ahead and eventually sampling, especially that part or segment or track of your material.
yes.
Yeah. How did you when you what do you can you remember which one which sample you first heard out of any of those artists when it began to start happening?
Okay, so as far as the Sugar Hill Gang thing, that wasn't a sample. They just mentioned it. They mentioned my
Right,
name in the song, right?
right, right.
I think the first sample that I heard was "You Must Learn,"
Okay,
KRS
KRS
One.
One. Okay, okay,
Yep.
okay.
And then I heard "You're Gonna Get Yours" by Public Enemy.
Mm, okay, okay.
Those were the first two I heard, and then there was more to come after that. And that's when my attorney out in L.A. began to pursue, to get me, make sure I got paid for it, and which I
Right.
did. Everybody, I got taken care of and all that stuff.
Okay, okay.
There's only one situation now that's outstanding that that's being worked on now, and that's a song that was sampled by a whole nother song other than Super Sperm that was sampled by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. Okay. Had you
So
did you get a chance to talk to any of those artists in terms of just finding out what drove them to sample your material?
you know what? No,
Okay.
no. Actually, when it was pursuing, it wasn't really about anything, but it was a lawyer's move. That was
Mhm.
it's now a legal thing. When you have your lawyer working on your behalf, you're just going to let him do his work.
Okay.
I think the what I did find out later on is though, because of the popularity of Super Sperm. I mean, Super Sperm was so popular during that era, man, that everybody wanted to have what was very popular in their song.
Gotcha.
And of course, that's an honor, man. If they're putting together a song and they feel that your song or a sample from your song is going to make their song really good, that's an honor right there. I don't look at it as being they stole my stuff. No, that's an honor because I've been, like I said, I studied the business. I knew how to get paid, so I just told my lawyer, get us some money, get our money, and that's what he did. So yeah, so I would say that the reason was because it was the popularity in New York, man, of Super Sperm was just phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah, I talked to Fred Buggs not too long ago, and Fred Buggs told me that recently, not too long ago, he saw that song played at a party and still packed the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still very, very, very. It's like a classic song out east and a lot of markets, especially the East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, and all those markets. Man, that song is still a classic.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, after all those years.
And that came out in 1978.
78 on that album, The Adventures of Captain Scott. Yes.
Wow.
And it's really cool for it still to be relevant, man. And I got a song that I'm working on now, man. It's called The Second. Okay, so you got Super Sperm, and I'm working on The Second Coming, which is the sequel to Super Sperm.
Okay.
I'm working on that. That's one of the songs I'm working on.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at another one here. This one is actually have some video footage of you on Soul Train.
Okay.
And so we're gonna look at this one. This one was the Wonder Worm.
Yes.
So let's take a look at this one. Let me just do this real quick. Get this off of here and that, and let's see here. Okay, so all right, let's take a look at this one here.
Okay.
And as he joins us to do his latest single on the AVI label entitled Wonder Worm, let's welcome a most interesting and talented young man who just flew in from Chicago to be with us and probably under his own power. Hands together, gang, for Captain Sky.
You have just tuned in to another episode of Saturday Night Movies, better known as Moving with Ease on Saturday night. Of course, your most honorable master of funk harmonies is none other than the Captain, you dig. Tonight's Universal premiere is about an unidentified crawling object. But that crawling out on the floor, did it just appear or was it there before? But that moving from side to side, it feels so good to me, I'm satisfied. Somebody move, feel the groove, everybody sing along. If you want to burn, really burn, is the time for you to learn. Everybody move, feel the groove, everybody sing along. If you want to learn, everybody learn. Come on now and work.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, man. Another classic.
Yeah, that was a blessing, man. That song, man, was the one that, after that broadcast on Soul Train, all the promoters and stuff started calling immediately, and that's when I started touring.
Yeah.
After Don Cornelius, man, telecast that probably in January of 1979, and I went right to work shortly after that.
Shortly after that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Touring with everybody.
Wow. How was that? How was that tour feeling like?
Awesome, man. The whole thing, is driving up in the city in your tour bus, and you got your name on the front of the bus, and then you pull up to the venue and you see your name on the marquee, and the promoter tells you that you're sold out. I mean, wow. Yeah, I can't even, I can't describe how that feels. It feels awesome. It feels like, like you're appreciated.
Yeah.
Like, and even going to Soul Train, man, back in the day, Soul Train really determined your relevancy, man. If you wasn't happening, you didn't, you weren't gonna be on Soul Train. Soul Train was a nationally syndicated show, so when they selected people to be on that show, man, it's because they had nationwide presence, nationwide airplay.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of get the feeling of, wow, it's coming. I'm making it.
Right.
I don't ever want to feel like I made it, but you feel like, wow, this is good. This is good. I'm on the right track, so what a good start. I mean, that's a great start.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk a little bit about your attire, because you had some type of specialty attire back then in those days.
Yeah, it's like it was a guy, man. It's Dexter Griffin, man, and Dexter was from LA, and my people put me in touch with him, and he was the same guy that made clothes for Bootsy.
Mm-hmm.
He made clothes for Rick James, so he was kind of like the guy, the go-to guy if you were in that kind of groove that I was into. Yeah.
Okay. So here's one of your costumes. Is this one that was created?
Made by Dexter Griffin in LA, yes.
Gotcha. Wow.
And the amazing thing about him, man, is that I never was ever in my entire life in the same room with him.
Mm-hmm.
I never met him. I talked to him on the phone. I sent him my measurements. We talked about what I wanted to do, and he shipped it Federal Express to me, and I had it, as soon as he finished it. I had him making them on a regular basis. I had several of those.
Wow. So listen, this, that's why I think this is so interesting, because there's like it's kind of like a milestone that continues to build up until where we at today. It's kind of, it has a lot of, like you say, a lot of bricks. When you start with building a foundation, you had to continue to lay bricks on top of one another.
That is exactly correct.
Yeah. So, and that, I think I would agree. I mean, with hip hop really becoming what it has become today, and you're being mentioned in the first recorded rap song that went on to become, the world's, I think the Rapper's Delight is probably the world's most memorized first rap song.
Yeah, everybody knew every word, you know. The thing about it too was so cool about the song, man. It had some humor in it, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever been over to an old friend to eat and the food that ain't no good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot of humor in it, but it was so cool. It was relevant, you know. I mean, it was a great idea. Joe Robinson and Sylvia Robinson and Sugar Hill. You had an opportunity to do some business with them too. And great people, very, very, very. They had a lot of vision.
Yes.
Whatever happened business wise and stuff with the artists, that's not my business, you know. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about moving forward, and obviously you did some other songs down the road and everything, but we've come to where we at now today, and we actually made it to 2022. So let's talk about some of the new projects that you got going on for your fans out there.
Well, man, I've taken all of those bricks from my sound. I've expanded my sound and my style a whole lot. From not only from funk but to ballads and to dance music and classic covers. Like I remade some songs, by some classic artists like Blue Magic and the Stylistics and stuff like that. And even like one of the club things I'm working on right now is a cover. I like doing covers, man, because covers bring people back. But if you put your own flavor on top of it and you improve upon it, you don't mess with it, man, and make it worse. Do not take away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's against the law. So I'm actually working on now a cover of Back Together Again by Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. And then I got some stuff, Anticipation. It's just really a combination of funk, R&B, and of course, I'm always going to keep, some elements in there that are catered for the hip hop thing, because that's a big part of my beginning, So I'm looking forward to releasing some stuff the first quarter of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I'm in production, mixing, still recording vocals and adding musical parts and just tweaking it so that so I can put my best foot forward.
Okay.
My best foot forward. I can't half do anything, man,
Right. You had the opportunity to visit the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum over in Bronzeville last summer.
Loved it. I loved it.
What did you think about that?
I think it's awesome. I think it's really good, man, that there's a group of brothers and sisters, man, who are committed to celebrating and continuing the legacy and the whole thing of Chicago hip hop, because I think that it's quite honestly, I don't think it's gotten its just due nationwide and worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see that continue to happen.
Yes.
New York, of course, New York got a lot of props, and of course, LA, but I mean, hey, man, we not chopped liver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got some really good stuff happening here, man. So
yeah,
I just think, as long as we find ways, man, to continue that and move that forward, I think that'll be a good thing, man. So I think the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum, and I think that's a great to have that in position to do that, I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I really do.
Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, with your new projects underway, where and how can people connect and follow with you?
Well, of course, when I release my project, it's going to be available in all formats. It's going to be, the website will be up soon. It's called therealcaptainsky.com. So that actually is we're planning to launch that within the next few weeks.
Okay.
So when the music is released, currently it can be found everywhere. On all formats.
Okay.
The new stuff is going to be even more places to get that. So like we were talking about, man, I think we were off camera when we were talking about it. It's just constantly evolving,
Mhm.
constantly growing and building. I don't want to ever feel like I arrived.
Right.
I want to
Right.
always feel that I'm striving.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because I don't want to get so satisfied that I rest on my laurels, and because it's going to reflect in the music.
Right. 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 Okay. That's what's up. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's let's see here. We had a couple of comments that was made, just a few here.
Okay.
Let me try to share them here with you.
Okay.
Uh let's see. Eric says, Captain Crunch from the West Side. I'm a Wonder Worm guy. Love watching the Rapid Hands dance off that record. So
Okay.
this was a guy from the West Side. He was a locker in the 70s.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. My man. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he said that he loved your music.
But I appreciate that so much. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah, 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 yeah. So a couple other people just checking in, just saying hello, showing some love to Captain Sky.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
Yep,
right.
yep, yep, yep. So,
I appreciate it.
yeah. So how do like again, so what are you on Facebook and Instagram? Any handles that you can share with the people?
Well, like basically, man, just search for the music, just Captain Sky, my artistry, man. It's like I'm on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere, every format, As
Mhm.
far as uh uh my Facebook page is Daryl Cameron.
Okay.
And as far as Instagram and I'm setting up a new Instagram account.
Hmm.
So basically, once I get ready to launch the new music, all of that stuff, I'm gonna just put it out there for people to know. So just tell everybody to stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. All right.
Stay
All right.
tuned.
I have one concluding question that I meant to ask you in the beginning, but
Go ahead.
where did you come up with the name Captain Sky? What was the significance of it?
Well, captain is for authority, because
Mhm.
anything you do, you want to have some authority behind it. And the sky is height, and not just my physical height. I'm 6'7", but heights, reaching new heights
Gotcha. Gotcha.
with authority.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the scene? We didn't talk about this yet either, but what about the part where you would go into the phone booth?
Well, the phone booth is in my mind.
Okay.
In other words, when I go into the phone booth, that's when in the phone booth of my mind, and I emerge as Captain Sky. It's just a matter of going within and then bringing it out.
Okay.
So it's just I did have a physical phone booth. It was real cool, man. On stage, like I had a phone booth on stage where I would be inside, and my special effects guy would explode the walls off the sides of the phone booth, and I would be standing there. The walls would blow off all four sides, and it was always real cool.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, hey, man, we just want to thank you once again for tuning in and
Well,
sharing
thank you,
some of your
man.
history, right here with us on the RYC Live. I want to shout out to my team, the RYC Live family. And, we thank you, man, for coming on to the show. This is the first show of the year, first
Hey,
episode.
my
And
pleasure, man.
we look forward to continually building later on in the future.
My pleasure, man. And thank you so much for inviting me, Artistic. Appreciate it, bro.
No problem. So any last concluding words that you'd like to share? Anything that if you was to talk to someone up and coming, what would you say to them?
Stay on it and stay in it to win it. That's
Cool.
it, man. Stay in it to win it. But basically, man, it's all about perseverance. But preparation, like I started out talking about, is preparation is the first thing. Don't go half cocked. Prepare, move forward with your preparation, and do what you got to do. And never ever give up. Don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing isn't a good idea, because if you believe it inside, man, then you got to stay true to what you believe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, man. Once again, thank you, and don't go nowhere because we're gonna talk backstage. But
Okay, brother.
until next week, we'll be back once again each and every Friday is our new days of the week. So each and every Friday we'll be here right here live at 8 p.m. So tune in next Friday. We'll be back again with another Fresh Friday. Until next week, this is the RYC Live Show. I'm Artistic and Captain Sky. We're signing out. Peace.
Peace.